Today, 6 major outlets covered the exact same lawsuit, the exact same court filing, the exact same plaintiff, but only one of them mentioned what's actually on the tapes that Joe Biden is fighting to keep sealed. This is AI Command App, Media Lens. Same stories, different lenses. Here's what happened on the record. Former President Joe Biden filed a lawsuit Tuesday in federal court against the Justice Department. He is trying to stop the release of audio recordings and transcripts from his interviews with a ghostwriter. Those interviews were obtained during special counsel Robert Hur's investigation into his handling of classified documents. Biden's lawyers argue the recordings are private. The Justice Department says they are public records. 6 outlets had the story within hours of each other. Here is how each of them told it. The New York Times led with this headline, quote, Biden sues Justice Dept to block release of tapes. Their lead framed it through Biden's own words. He, quote, argued that the Justice Department has a responsibility to protect the privacy of conversations he had with a former ghostwriter. That is Biden's argument, foregrounded. The frame is privacy, no mention of memory, no mention of what is actually on the recordings. NPR ran a very similar version. Quote, Biden, quote, sued the Justice Department to block the release of audio recordings and transcripts. Clean, procedural, no editorial weight in either direction. ABC News, nearly identical, filed suit tied to a special counsel probe. End of frame. The Hill calls them, quote, private interviews, a small word choice, but a sympathetic one. The interviews are framed as private first, investigative material second. Then the BBC tips the angle. Quote, Biden, quote, allegedly referred to classified information during the interviews, but he says the government wants to release the records for other reasons. That, but he says construction is skeptical. It invites the reader to weigh Biden's claim against the underlying allegation. The BBC is the first of the 6 to surface what the lawsuit is actually about. And then there is The Guardian. The Guardian's lead, word for word, the recordings, quote, exposed his frequent memory lapses. Not alleged, not reportedly, exposed. One outlet out of 6 names the thing that made the Hur Report a political earthquake in the first place. The other 5 sanitize it. So what does this tell you? It tells you that a single court filing, a public, documented, factual event, gets refracted 6 different ways before it lands on your screen. The Times centered Biden's privacy argument. NPR and ABC played it straight. The Hill softened the framing. The BBC tilted skeptical. The Guardian named the subtext out loud. None of these stories are wrong. All of them are choices. And if you only read one of them today, you walked away with a fundamentally different picture of why this lawsuit even exists. That is today's Media Lens. We do this every day. Same stories, different lenses. Subscribe and hit the bell. See you tonight at 6 for the next one.